Well, I've been waiting to have a pop at this game for a while now, because it is hands down one of the most impressive cover arts I have ever seen for a game. It's Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys. Welcome to your new sleep paralysis demon.
Oh boy, just look at this artwork. We are not messing around here. This is Tate Modern stuff. Absolutely distilled.
Once upon a time, before I started this channel and was just plain old Sarah, working as an SEO manager and depressed as all hell, I started to just pick up whatever games were going in CEX for like 20p. You know, to fill the void inside. This one caught my eye because how could it not? Look at it.
I've been looking at it for an hour now. You know when great artwork really touches you there? I wonder how much it would cost to have it tattooed onto my arse.
Was this nicked from someone's A-level AutoCAD coursework? It looks like someone tried to draw a Disney film after having never frigging seen it, and someone else who was off their tits on coke explained the premise to them. There's this woman who's so white she looks like a mortician's slab, and she's got an apple, and she's looking at it like duh. There's a few dwarves, one of whom is obviously a sexual predator judging by the expression, and draw a Gary Busey in the background holding a hat for some reason. Are you joining me for another bump? In previous videos, I have touched upon the fact that Phoenix Games made some terrible so-called video games that are somewhat based on fairy tales or rubbish stories about something or other. Check out my review of Dalmatians 2 if you want to have your eyes metaphorically gouged out by the work of Dingo Pictures, a budget film company with a back catalogue that Phoenix/Midas Entertainment for some reason thought would be great to slap onto a video game disc. But Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys isn't one of those infamous Dingo Pictures lot. Because while it is still basically a film with a bunch of crappy mini-games tacked on, this film is made by an entirely different company. One which, thankfully, had a better grasp on animation and story writing. But unfortunately, none of the charm that a cat that runs like this can bring you.
And that company would appear to be a Polish company under the name Longsoft. Is that not funny to you? It's quite funny to me. Phoenix Games published a load of Longsoft's videos on PlayStation 2 discs under the guise of games. Buckle up, kids, because you're about to be in for some bobbins. Wow, now that is a loading screen. I'm not even mad, I might even start using that in my videos. I have a real appreciation for complete and utter cannot be arsedness.
Okay then, why does my cursor look so upset? Does he know something that I don't? Look at this lot stranded on an island surrounded by things like an octopus with a video recorder from the 80s, a very pissed off looking starfish, and the world's stupidest crocodile. Whatever will this grown woman and her army of young boys do? Well, we better get going with the film, the main attraction on this game disc. Settle in, grab your popcorn. Don't worry, I won't make you watch the whole thing. I did, and it made me angry enough for all of us.
Not quite so long ago, and not so far away, near the seventh town across the seventh river, there was a beautiful forest.
First up, the Seven Clever Boys get introduced.
All because the forest was kept perfectly in order by 7 clever and thoughtful young boys.
They aren't dwarves, just some standard issue boys who haven't finished growing up yet.
I did look up the term dwarf to see whether it's offensive, and apparently it's not exactly ideal, but it is the medical term for somebody who has dwarfism. And that in and of itself isn't necessarily offensive, that's just how some people turn out. And honestly, f*** anybody who takes the piss out of somebody else for being different. But that's why I'm confused why Longsoft went with the name Seven Clever Boys. I mean, they weren't going to offend anybody by keeping it to the original. And in this context, it makes more sense that there'd be, you know, adults who are just short. Because now I'm asking, why are there 7 kids in a forest by themselves, apparently doing a 9 to 5? This obviously isn't set in the Victorian era, because all of the boys are wearing friggin' Converse shoes.
According to the cheery-voiced narrator, it's the job of these kids to look after the forest. So they're like 7 park rangers who probably aren't even old enough to buy the alcohol that they desperately need to get through the trauma of having to live with their co-workers 24/7. Feeling sorry for them already.
And here they are. First,
Okay, so we're about to get introduced to all 7 of them. All right, come on, hit me with it.
there was Cubby, who was like a small bear.
Okay, cool. Cubby.
First, there was Cubby, who was like a small bear.
Because he's like a small bear. Is he? Because what kind of bears have you been knocking about with that wear rompers?
And then there was Big Basil, who was huge.
Big Basil, like Big Barry, but with none of the charm? Because the way that this guy's walking just tells me everything I need to know about this idiot.
And then Sunny, who took care of the plants and the animals. And then Sunny, who took care of the plants and the animals.
Then Sunny, who took care of the plants and the animals.
No, you didn't just put the black kid in a jersey and give him lips like that. You did not just do that.
It's not for me to say whether this is offensive to somebody who is not white. But I can see why somebody might be offended. I mean, I'm offended, and I'm not the one being represented here. Casual racism, casual.
Oh god, when was this made again? The narrator tells us that Sunny here takes care of the plants and the animals.
Oh, does he? Yeah, does he? Does he takes care of one particular plant, does he? One that needs a hydroponic set? You stereotyping f***s.
And Jacob, who was in charge of keeping order in the forest.
Ah, Jacob's keeping charge of order, is he? What does that entail? Because if that little shit came up to me and tried to give me orders while I was trying to mind my own business near a tree, I would drop kick him into the nearest river. And then me and Sunny would smoke a bowl, apparently.
Then Michael, who cared for the flowers, and then the professor, who was the most intelligent.
We don't even get a close-up on Lionel because he just looks after the flowers and no one gives a crap.
And then the 7th boy, Joseph Jr. So the 7th...
Well, the narrator has got nothing to say about Joseph Jr. He's just a boy who walks like this, dressed like he's fresh from the meth lab. Well, I suppose if these guys are being paid by the local council, it makes sense to have a side hustle going on. You gotta make ends meet somehow. What you have here is all 7 alters of your pre-teenage daughter who's pretending to have dissociative identity disorder. No, hey, I went through that too. Thank God TikTok wasn't a thing when I was 13 is all I can say. Why do they all walk like this?
They were such good boys because they really cared about the environment.
Ah, they were such good boys because they cared about the environment. That's what makes a good boy. Not the fact that they are underage and working full-time jobs. Also, please stop calling them good boys. It's really creeping me out.
But then one evening they came back to their cabin and were surprised to find the door open. Oh, there's a funny face on the chimney. Look, and there's smoke. What is going on?
Okay, so this bit is weird. Why introduce the fact that the chimney has a face and then not, build upon that? Give us a little bit more info there. Because if I got home and one of the chimneys on my house had sprouted a moustache and started talking to me, I'd call my dealer right away to complain about a bad batch. Hey, Sonny, you sold me some bad weed, my guy.
And there's smoke. What is going on?
So, a random woman has broken into the kid's house.
Get out, love.
And straight away, without any warning, without even telling these kids who she is, she just whips a microphone out of God knows where and starts singing.
This is my song, I'll sing it now.
The last time I broke into someone's house and started singing, the police were called. It was my ex's house, not just some random person that I didn't know. Jesus, you guys. I'm not completely mental.
The singer does have a nice voice. Karaoke trophy winner nice. But nice. The song, however, is so bad. And the animation to go with it is equally awful.
So very jealous of me.
Oh, she's got the boys singing with her after they spunk themselves into the scene. Okay, well, Not okay, obviously, but okay. Oh, the disco lights are on. See, it was totally worth installing them, boys, just in case some random lass showed up and started singing a song which is not suited for disco dancing, but you know, whatever, I don't even care. Here's Sonny playing a saxophone, because of course. Oh. Casual racism!
So Snow White came to stay with the 7 boys, of course she did. And the boys promised they would look after her and keep her safe from the evil queen.
Apparently the best way to stay with a load of unsupervised children is to just walk into their house and sing about how there's an evil queen who's really upset about how hot you are. There you go. Tip for those of you who are looking for house shares. And any paedophiles.
This narrator is really, really into these boys. He keeps going on about how good they are. It's constant. It's uncomfortable.
Such noble, brave and clever boys. The wicked queen disguised herself as an ugly old hag and gave Snow...
You slipped out of your accent there. Do you want to take that one again?
...as an ugly old hag and...
Hag?
...as an ugly old hag and...
It's hag.
...as an ugly old hag and gave Snow White a poison...
Do you want to... Alright.
Ooh, look at those graphics. That is a good apple right there. You know the story. The wicked queen poisons her, the boys come home and they have a mental breakdown.
And when the 7 boys came home that night and found her unconscious, they were overcome with grief. So sad. They didn't know what to do and sat around crying.
Guys, she's in a coma! Take her to hospital for God's sake! Oh wait, are you in America? Nah, not without copay. Whatever that is, I've got no frigging clue. I've got the NHS over here.
Oh, this kid looks like he's wearing lipstick at this point.
In the distance, a cloud of dust. Could it be that a miracle was about to take place?
When the prince arrives, there's this really weird joke.
But was this really Prince Charming? Yes, it was. Hooray!
Okay.
Wait, what? So are you saying that this is a kid on a bike who isn't actually a prince? I have no idea what date this is supposed to be set in, because Snow White had a microphone back there that she apparently had the foresight to bring along with her when breaking into small children's houses. Now there's a prince who is not a prince? Also, Snow White is clearly at least in her early 20s, and she's about to get kissed by a lad who probably doesn't even have GCSEs yet.
When he saw Snow White, he gave her a soft, loving kiss.
Ah, sexual assault, lovingly recreated in cartoon form.
The result was unbelievably beautiful and simply magical in every way.
I'm sorry, am I watching a different video here?
What part of that was simply magical and beautiful in every way? Because I did not see Keanu Reeves appear from nowhere with a kitten. I did not see everyone explode into glitter. Most things are more magical and beautiful than this. My council tax bill is more magical and beautiful than this.
Oh wow, I'm still paying this even though my bins never get picked up when they're supposed to. That's magic.
So the boys and the prince and Snow White live happily ever after, dancing around a fire and looking after the forest. I was hoping, since they're all having a dance at the end here, that Snow White was going to absolutely smash out another one of her chart toppers.
This is my song, I'll sing it now.
Those lyrics, man. Tupac would be proud.
You're just gonna let a lass who's really friggin' weird and a kid who kisses women when they're unconscious just stay with 7 kids in the forest? Cause all of those kids are underage? I'm just gonna do a small call to social service. Just a little call to social service. No, Snow White, Prince, not that I'm accusing you of anything. No, it's just that you're both friggin' creepy.
That is entirely it. The entire video from start to finish was about 6 minutes, 20 seconds.
Imagine if you'd bought this for your kids, hoping that it would entertain them enough to give you 5 minutes peace. You'd be absolutely gutted. Oh, and obviously the kids would be upset too.
I'm kind of interested to know why they are clever boys. There's nothing to suggest that they are, apart from how this kid can suddenly play the saxophone, and we're told at the start that one of the kids is clever. The rest are just sort of, standard issue boys. And let's face it, if these kids have been convinced to do an actual 9 to 5 in this day and age without being paid, they're probably not very clever at all, because this is bullshit. Never at any point do they do anything clever. No problem solving, no doing their accounts without having a mental breakdown, no region unlocking a PlayStation, and even their jobs are a whole lot of nothing. I have no idea what these kids are doing when the narrator says they're working really hard. This lad just looks like he's running around to me. That's not work. Well, we got all of 5 minutes of entertainment out of that, if you'd call it entertainment. Kind of the same way that Carrot Top is comedy. So what games have we got here?
Exactly like the Dingo Pictures versions of these Phoenix released games, what you've got here is basically the equivalent of the kids' activity book that you bought at the newsagents.
Colouring book. Ooh, different shots from the video for you to colour in. Okay, seriously, why is my cursor looking so worried? It's really foreboding. I don't know what to think. Feeling intimidated by cartoon arrows was last on my list of predictions for today, after setting fire to a tea towel and inhaling a moth. Which also did happen because this is apparently my life. Doesn't help the actual drawings for you to fill in look like rubbish. At least the range of colours is a decent spread though, in the same way that a knockoff Lurpak from Aldi is a decent spread. You aren't keen, but you'll take it if there's nothing else. Shout out to my non-UK viewers who didn't understand that joke at all. Who got that octopus a video recorder? Time for a puzzle, as hosted by this stupid friggin' crocodile. Why is my cursor making that face when I get a piece in the right place? Is he coming on to me?
I know I come across as desperate, but I think I'm alright, mate. Alright, one date.
What's this starfish got? Well, he's the gatekeeper of one of those shuffle puzzle games. You know, these bastards. Hate them. And I'm willing to bet they are far worse in a video game. What is this game's obsession with that sodding chimney that we saw for literally a second in the main video? It's in the painting game and the jigsaw game too. It's not a main character, it's a sodding chimney with a face. Why are you trying to traumatise me, Phoenix Games? Alright, what else have we got?
Oh, awesome! I've always wanted to unshuffle a depiction of statutory rape.
Should I be censoring this? I feel like I should be censoring this. The inflatable moose has the game options, because sure, why not? Why the heck not? It could be anything at this point. We've already abandoned all semblance of sense. Why not make it a drowning astronaut? Or Colin Firth? No one cares at this point. At least if it's Colin Firth, we can have nice flashbacks of Mr. Darcy rather than flashbacks of whatever the hell it was that we just watched. Alright, so it won't surprise you to find out that all the other games using the animation company that made this video all use the same template for the games. Yeah, a nice bunch of fairy tales put onto a PlayStation 2 disc. Just what you always wanted, except that's not at all what you always wanted ever. The gaming part was developed by Aqua Pacific, who worked on nothing especially notable before. The actual video itself was made by Longsoft Multimedia. Longsoft. They made video games and they did computer animations, releasing a bunch of videos called Education Fairy Tale Land. They are, or were, a Polish company, by the way, so that might not be a literal translation. It really is hard to find exactly what the situation is with these, but you can find all of Longsoft's videos for sale at auctions and the like on Polish websites, and they're all issued as PC games. I managed to eventually find Longsoft's website on the Internet Archive. Unfortunately, it was mostly built in Flash, so it looks like none of the links work on it because they were never indexed. But the oldest capture we have is from 2001, a whole 6 years before these games by Phoenix were made.
You have likely noticed that even though I would normally have the game in my hand so I can tell it to f**k off directly, I haven't done that in this video, even though at the start I said I picked it up for about 20p from CEX years ago. Well, there's a very good reason for that. I threw it out. Yep, before I started making these videos full time, when I was moving flats in London, I chucked it into a I can't be arsed bag for the charity shop. And off it went into the world. And here's the reason why that is especially annoying.
What really takes the mick with this one is that if you want to get hold of it now for, I don't know, self-loathing reasons, the infamy this game has, thanks to the likes of Kedikarus and much bigger channels than mine covering it, means that it will set you back 1,000,000 times more than it's worth. It's an uncommon game, sure, but what you've got here is nothing more than a gilded vomit pile. Not even gilded, it's been sort of clumsily spray painted by someone panicking and trying to make it look pretty. That was one of my weaker metaphors, but Phoenix didn't bother putting effort into their secretions, so I'm not gonna bother writing decent wordplay.
Isn't that weird? Some mega popular retro gaming YouTuber does a video about a piece of literal buffalo gash, and suddenly it shoots up in price on eBay. Of course, I don't think people actually make those purchases. It's just the sellers, trying it on a bit. Which is fair play, really. But I wasn't going to be the one to rebuy Snow White and the Seven Clever Boys. I'm not going to be paying £300 for a piece of gash until I'm so old that I need to pay for it. And on top of that, I'm not going to pay £300 for a piece of gash that I already had and then palmed off onto a charity shop.
Well, now I've done a review on this monstrosity, I don't ever have to think about it ever again, so I'm very happy. In fact, I'm in such a good mood that I might pop by my ex's house with a microphone. A different ex, obviously, I'm not a creeper. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe and all that nonsense. You are awesome.
This is my song, I'm singing it now. How I get through this crap, I don't know how. I am here with a microphone today, just in case you will let me stay. I am Snow White apparently. I let young boys take care of me. That sounds really wrong when said out loud. I'm walking into the first house I found.
No, don't call the police again, come on.